CR101radio.com, podcasts, and more.
15. Men and Many Sparrows. Our Lord in Matthew 10, 29 and 30 speaks of God's care even for sparrows and then tells us, "Fear ye not, therefore, ye are of more value than many sparrows." Verse 31. More than once in history, rulers have not seen men as of equal value with birds and animals. In English history, there was a long and bitter struggle between the people and the crown over the royal game preserves and forests. The wildlife was of more importance to the rulers than the people, and deer, for example, had the freedom to destroy a farmer's crop, and he had no right to stop it. Historian E.P. Thompson has written that we have better statistics for the deer in Windsor Forest over 3 centuries ago than we do of the people. There was an annual census of the deer, among other things. Oliver Cromwell was very much loved by the farmers because in his days of power he ended this higher regard for animals than for people. With Charles II, the old order returned. We must remember that our Lord's statement, quote, "While God has a regard for even sparrows, we who are made in his image are of far greater value," end quote, has not always been believed. The kings, lords and ladies of Europe hold that farmers were worth less than deer and birds. Puritanism, among other things, was a strong protest against all such thinking. This same issue is again with us. As people abandon Christ, they often show an elitist contempt for all men below them socially and financially, and an undue and abnormal regard for animals. God's law speaks of the need to be mindful of trees, birds, and animals. Proverbs 12:10 tells us, quote, "A righteous man regardeth the life of his beast, but the tender mercies of the wicked are cruel." Today, we have many who are full of tender mercies for the environment, but who are cruel to their fellow men. Remember what our Lord says, that we are of more value than the flowers of the field, the wildlife, and many sparrows. This is God's truth.